going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So today is Saturday. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome weekend so far. Having a look at what is going on right now, I'm going to be honest, it's relatively boring. You can see Bitcoin is down 0.15%. Essentially, we have some mild red, mild green across the board, but you do know what happens when things tend to get a little bit boring. We do have that calm before the storm. In fact, it was quite boring during the top of the BART pattern, wasn't it? And then boom, we skyrocketed all the way up to that 8.8K resistance, right? And had a massive pullback. You can see down here, we came down to that $8,238 level. But what I do like about the fact that we held here, at least short term for support, is that we had not one, not two, but three previous resistances. You could see back here, 1, 2, 3, and then we finally popped up, and currently we were supported. In fact, we're starting to trend slightly upwards, but does this mean we're out of the water? Well, just as it was calm here, it's also looking pretty calm here as well, and this could be the calm before the storm. So we're definitely going to talk about the Bitcoin price short term. Also want to talk about a really interesting Bitcoin metric that I recently found out, which I do believe to be somewhat bullish. I think you're going to want to stick around for that. And also, my goodness, Libra is just getting hammered left and right. People are dropping off. They're getting sued. We're going to talk about that. And is that going to affect Bitcoin? So that is essentially what we're going to go into today. If that sounds good to you, well, you know what to do. Also, if you're not subscribed to the Crypto Zombie channel, well, you're probably missing out at this point because we do this every single day. And of course, as you guys know, every Monday is the Ledger Nano S giveaway. Now, let me give this a quick refresh live. You'll notice, first of all, that Bitcoin dominance has actually started going up again. It had a little bit of a pullback, and now currently we're sitting around 66.8% again. Not really too much going on. Having a look at some of the altcoins, we have Sia Coin up, Nash, Decentraland, Digibyte, MCO, Raven, Electronium, and Zilliqa all doing quite well today. Obviously, we are not seeing very good volume right now, though I'm going to be honest with you. It is the weekend, but keep in mind, low volume, you can have massive volatility, right? It's a lot easier to move the price. So that is something we do need to keep in mind. As you can see, look at this, very, very neutral on Coin Farm. And unfortunately, it looks like the masses are still slightly bearish, okay? So we're going to talk about that moving forward because I do want to point out one interesting thing right here. And essentially, if you look right here, we're actually putting in a bit of a, so far it's a bullish doji star, but what does this mean? Well, essentially on the monthly, this means that we are extremely indecisive, right? Basically, it's a line with a cross in the middle. There's really no bar. Now, interestingly enough, the last time we actually put in something like this was back here around the month of September in 2016, and you could see that came after 2 months of red. So we've had 3 red, and now we're having the same thing that we had back here, and basically after that, well, I don't have to tell you guys what happened. We essentially skyrocketed to the all-time high. So is that the situation? Well, currently you'll notice we are well above the purple line. So, do we have to come down here and sort of retest the level, come back to earth? Or are we just getting ready to just blast off and, go to the moon? Well, that's kind of what I want to talk about today, because you can see right here, we did have this descending triangle. We fell out of it, okay? It was a bit of a, 80% chance of the breakdown. Well, we went to the downside. And you can see right here, having a look, we are still held down by the 200 daily moving average, but we're sort of starting to form this giant downwards wedge, right? And we're looking to hopefully get supported by these levels and not fall any lower. I would like to see us get above that 8.8K, but speaking of 8.8K, as Josh Rager says, BTC, hopium. Technically, we're seeing higher lows here, which is good short term, but this area certainly has to hold. If not, well, alt season on hold. Well, Josh, I think alt season's been on hold for quite some time now. But there are a few coins that are a few tokens that are doing well. But here is why I think we could be having a relatively big move pretty soon. And that is because not only are the Bollinger Bands getting very tight, you can see obviously right here, the tighter they get, the more chance we have for this big move. And you can see that they're getting closer and closer and closer. And not only that, but the other thing to note is you see this pink line right here. This essentially is the basis, right, of the Bollinger Bands. And we're currently being held down by that basis right now. And we are trying to break above it. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, the significance of bringing this up is you can see, look, we broke above it here. Boom, we had a nice little pump, right? Look, we broke above it here. Boom, we had a nice little pump. And the other way around too, when we tend to fall below it, we tend to have a big move down. Well, currently we are not only stuck below that, but we're also stuck below the 200 daily moving average, okay? So I do think if Bitcoin has a potential to break above this basis line and get above the 200 daily, which is sitting at around 8,713 currently, well, you could definitely be looking for an incredible, massive move to the upside. But are we going to have a pump to the upside? That is the big question we need to look at, because currently you can see if you draw out this fractal, now the blue line is basically what we did back in 2018. And obviously the rest of the chart is what we've done right now. Insane, the fractal. It's crazy how similar this is playing out, right? We've gone over this. Basically, you can see right here, this was the representation of the pump and dump that we just had basically the other day. And currently you can see we kept trending upwards and we had this little bear trap here. So obviously having a look at what we're doing right now, well, we had a little bear trap here and we are continuing to trend upwards and we keep putting in higher lows. I know even down here, you might be saying to yourself, didn't we dip? Well, that was around 7,779 and we had previously fell to 7,710. So that was a higher low. That is very good short term. And it looks like essentially we are in this channel. However, here's the other thing. You could argue that this might be a bear flag, right? We had a dump and we're starting to put in a bit of a flag. Well, bear flags usually dump to the downside, right? So we do need to be careful, but I do hope that if we did fall out of this, we would probably get supported by this purple trend right here, right? So that's basically the situation. However, just saying, if we do not only get above the basis, get above the 200 daily, especially if we're able to break this resistance, and then if we get above, those major levels, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I mean, it's time to long. It is time to put in a massive, massive long, but obviously be careful and don't jump the gun, because we still have, the opportunity to break to the downside and we could see that $8,000 level get tested again, right? But that being said, if you guys are interested in how to use leverage trading, it is very risky. I don't recommend it if you're a beginner, but I do have a tutorial above. I will drop that. And of course, I do have links below. You're welcome to use them, but you don't have to. They help the channel out, but are not required. But ultimately, here is what I'm looking at. The fact that we've been supported by this 100 weekly, and you can see right here, we had a low of 7751, 7730, and 7776. So you can see the significance of not falling below this sort of 77 to 75 level, right? And obviously if we get above the 21 exponential, which is basically sitting around 9,000 even, and if we can get above this resistance of the major downtrend, well, then we could definitely say we are in the clear for blue skies. But what I'm basically trying to say to you, and I hope this is what you take away from this, is we have a lot of resistance, okay? We have more resistance than we do support, okay? But if we can break out of break above all of these, then yeah, I'm looking for a massive, massive move, guys. You can see right here, even Socrates, who I actually considered to be quite a Bitcoin bear for a while, is saying this is starting to look a lot like Wykoff accumulation. If this current pullback creates a higher low above 8,000, then I would consider it confirmed markup. And you can see right here, look at this chart. He's pretty much calling, this is what we're doing, going sideways, and we could have that amazing bounce back, right? It is possible. Here's another way you could look at it right here, a lot more simplified, right? So definitely keep your eyes on that, guys, because this is something I wanted to point out too, is the fact that the number of Bitcoin addresses holding more than 1,000 Bitcoin are essentially at an all-time high. And I know what you're saying. Well, yeah, I mean, Bakkt just came out. They have their warehouse. Of course, you have these exchanges that are holding it, right? But my point is, that many addresses, there's only how many exchanges, right? I mean, how many exchanges do people really use? Like the top 10, the top 20, right? I mean, this is a massive number of, this is almost 2,100, right? So what is this telling me? Well, if somebody is confident enough to be holding 1,000 Bitcoin, which is an astronomical number, they must be seeing some sort of value in the in the crypto, right? And look right here, Willy Woo, who you guys know, he's one of my favorite analysts out there. He says, here's a chart of the number of Bitcoin millionaires over time. There's around 12,000 Bitcoin millionaires right now. Now, to put that into perspective, there's only 36 millionaires on this planet, give or take where you get your data from. I've heard some people say 44. But my point being is there are not a lot of Bitcoin millionaires, right? So the chances of becoming a Bitcoin millionaire obviously are a lot better if you consider the fact that, okay, we could go down to 1,000, but think about that risk to reward ratio. 8,000 to 1,000 versus 8,000 to 100,000, like we're seeing some of these calls from Plan B looking at the stock to flow, right? So this is definitely looking bullish. That's all I could say. It's looking very bullish for me. And you guys know there's 21 million Bitcoin in the world. So even if we just take Willy Woo's numbers, 36 million millionaires, there's not even enough for each millionaire in the world to have one Bitcoin. Think about that. And if you're watching this channel right now and your goal is not to at least accumulate and hodl one Bitcoin, well, what are you watching the channel for, man? I mean, we you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get that one Bitcoin. You got to hodl that one Bitcoin, okay? I want to say not financial advice, but in a strange way, I kind of really seriously think you should try to own at least one Bitcoin. But let's talk about our buddies over at Facebook and what they're having. Well, it hasn't really been too good for our old buddy Mark Zuckerberg. You could see Mercado Pago, Visa, eBay, Stripe, and MasterCard have actually become the latest companies to officially depart from Libra. Welcome to the Hunger Games Libra edition. Who will be next to go? We've already seen Stripe, PayPal, eBay, MasterCard, and recently Mercado leave as well. Will it be Uber? Will it be Lyft? Catch us next time on Hunger Games Libra Association Edition. And not only are they having these backers basically dropping like flies, but they've also recently been sued by Current. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this tweet. This is what happens when you have only one crayon left. Essentially, they're saying that they stole their logo. Well, today, they have actually been taken to court, and the complaint alleges that the Calibra logo is way too similar to the Current's logo, which the fintech firm has been using since August of 2016. Current is seeking a preliminary injunction and monetary damages. It alleges the infringing mark adopted and used by the Calibra defendants is not only confusingly similar, but virtually identical to the Current marks. But that being said, how did David Marcus essentially, respond to all of this, okay? Because he is the co-founder. Well, he said special thanks to everyone for sticking it out. And of course, you had Nick Szabo chiming in saying you might want to ask yourself why the pressure has been so intense and read some history that Bitcoin pioneers were aware of. For example, the failure of e-gold, etc. He says, don't get me wrong, this is David Marcus responding. He says, already had a lot of appreciation for Bitcoin well before I started this journey, but appreciation, is growing, just not a good medium of exchange yet, to which Nick Szabo replies, Bitcoin works infinitely better as a medium of exchange than de facto banned vaporware.
Got him! Got him!
Speaking of some other crackdowns, and then let's get on out of here, guys, because it is the weekend and we got places to be, but you could see that the SEC is looking to suspend the unlawfully sold Telegram cryptocurrency with the final token disbursement on the horizon. Yes, this is not looking very good. So essentially, out of the entire ordeal, the SEC's classification of Gram as a security is the biggest risk to the smooth launch and execution of the network. So here is, the official documentation right here. If you guys are interested in looking at it, I will drop that below. But I did look on this article on Crypto Potato and they said, what's the difference though? Didn't this happen to EOS? Didn't they basically just get a slap on the wrist and have to pay a $25 million fine? Well, according to Tom Ravid, CEO at BlockTax, he says that the main difference is that EOS had very little or no activity prior to the initial coin offering. Hence, there was very little to disclose. Whereas on the other hand, Telegram actually has a real company with activity. They have a lot of users and there are a lot of expectations from all of these users. So essentially the SEC believes that there might be grounds for fraudulent activity, which is something that wasn't part of the case with EOS. So that is very serious. If you're involved in this, let me know what's going on. If you were one of the investors, how is this affecting you moving forward? I didn't get in on this at all, but just curious, let me know about that. And we did end with 57 volume on back, so I suppose we'll take that. But ending on one bit of good news, and let's get on out of here. You have Michael Novogratz is starting a merchant bank dedicated to cryptocurrencies and blockchain-based ventures. In fact, he's looking to raise $250 million, or $201 million in US in private placement. So that is looking very bullish short term, but having a look at this, well, we're going to have a reverse Bart Simpson. Wouldn't that be insane if we just had two Barts back to back? I don't think we're going to, but we could. It's possible. Bitcoin could do anything, but definitely keep your eyes on those very key resistances. We have a lot. We have to break the basis, break the 200 daily, get above 8.8K, okay? And then we need to put in some kind of a, higher short-term high, as far as that descending triangle is concerned. We will keep our eyes on it moving forward. Thank you so much once again for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. Of course, if you're